In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Lord,
Lord, grant
grant me the
grace
grace
to
to
love
love
you
you
more
more
dearly,
dearly,
to
to
know
know
you
you
more
more
clearly,
clearly,
to
to
serve
serve
you
you
more
more
purely,
purely,
to
to
follow
follow
you
you
more
more
dearly.
dearly.
Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Doctor Fathers.
Good afternoon, Father.
Shall begin with the quote. The saint of the day, Saint Maria Bettilla, was guardian. He says, "Here I am, Lord, to do your will, whatever comes." So let this saint inspire us as we prepare ourselves for the sacrament of reconciliation. So this morning you have seen about forgiveness, conversion. Now we shall see the process of forgiveness and reconciliation. Taking from the story of Zacchaeus, Jesus meeting Zacchaeus, Luke chapter 19, verses from 1 to 10. What are the stages involved in the process of conversion, reconciliation, forgiveness? There are basically 7 stages. Seven stages of conversion and forgiveness. Thirst, search, sideboard, invitation. First 4 stages. Zacchaeus was trying to see who Jesus was. He had the thirst for the Lord. Maybe he had a restlessness deep down. So he was thirsting for the divine. Something was not okay with him. He had a lot of position, he had power, but then he was not happy. So he was thirsting for something deeper. That is the thirst which we all are called to have. That is the first stage of our spiritual journey. So without thirst, no spiritual journey is possible. We are all thirsting for something deeper, something better, something that gives us meaning. That is the experience of St. Augustine, who says, "You have created us, O Lord, for yourself, but our hearts are restless until they rest in you." So that restlessness remains in all of us. We need to look at the divine source, to get back to that source, to experience that inner joy, inner peace. So this man, Zacchaeus, had that restlessness and he was going back to that source. So we all are coming from the divine source, we have to go back to the divine source. That is the mystery dimension that we talked about. We all are coming from the mystery and going back to the mystery again. So this thirst is the initial stage, the first stage for our spiritual journey. It's not only that we are thirsting for the Lord is also thirsting for us. He says, "I am thirsty." From the cross, one of the words of the Lord. I am thirsting for you, just as you are thirsting for me. So both of us are thirsting for each other. And that is the speciality of this thirst. And this thirst leads the person towards search. So Zacchaeus was not only thirsting for the Lord, he ran ahead. He wanted to see who Jesus was. So he was trying to just take a concrete step. That is that search. Searching for that source. Searching for the divine. Because the Lord says, "Search and you shall find." And our search should be a diligent search, a careful search. Like the woman who loses the coin and she was searching carefully, diligently. So likewise we also need to search for the divine. Just like this, Zacchaeus was searching for it. So he was running ahead. And this searching is always human, but the finding is divine. Searching is human, but the finding is divine. So we do our effort, we cooperate with the grace. The God is always giving us grace, and we need to cooperate with the grace. That's why St. Augustine says, "He who created you without your consent will not save you without your consent." He who created you without you cannot save you without you. Means we need to cooperate with the grace. The searching is human, the finding is divine. So this man called Zacchaeus is searching for that source, and he will be able to find the divine. So that is running at the second stage in our process of conversion. Thirsting leads us towards search. Searching for the right thing in the right place. Once one young man was searching something under the street light. Was not able to find. Then one old man comes that way, he asks, "My dear man, what are you searching?" He says, "I lost my gold ring. So I am searching." Then he also began to search. So both of them are searching for 10 minutes and they were not able to find. And then he asked him, "My dear man, where did you lose your golden ring?" He said, "I lost it at home." Then why are you searching here? There is no power at home. Only here there is light. So I am searching here. He's searching for the right thing, but he's searching the wrong place. So our search should be a right thing in the right place. Only then we will be able to find. We are searching for the Lord elsewhere, then we will miss the connection. So this man is searching for the right thing, right person in the right place. His search is a spiritual search. And that is mediated by a signboard. In our search, we need somebody to guide us, somebody to assist us, somebody to mediate us. So here, sycamore tree is that signboard for this man. So with the help of the sycamore tree, he is able to find the Lord. So in our spiritual journey, we all have signboards from the beginning, starting with our parents, our parish priest, our good friends, formators later on, our superiors. Can be some good books, some spiritual books, some saintly books, or Holy Bible, or anything. It can be a person, it can be an experience, it can be a good book, anything that leads us closer to Christ. Just like for the example of Samuel, he had Eli to guide him closer to the Lord. In the case of first disciples, Peter, first his companions, they had this setting of fishing boats, and that was the setup. That was like a signboard for where they were able to encounter the Lord. In the case of the three kings, the star, that was the signboard for. The star led him closer to the Lord. With the help of the star, they were able to reach the superstar in the manger. So we need some guidance for us. In the case of Samaritan woman, that well becomes the meeting place where she is able to encounter the divine. So we all need to have signboards in our lives. So our thirst leads us towards the search, and in order to experience the divine, we need to have that signboard, someone or something that connects us closer to the divine. And after experiencing through the mediation of the signboards, we become the signboards for somebody else. Like Philip, he goes and brings Peter closer to Jesus. Philip brings Nathanael closer to Jesus. Andrew goes and brings Simon Peter closer to Jesus. They become the signboard for somebody else. The case of Samaritan woman, she goes, she experiences the Lord, and then she goes and brings whole village closer to Jesus. On account of her, many people get to know Christ. So she becomes a signboard for us. That is our occasion also. We have signboards, and then as we grow in our spiritual journey, as priest of God, we become signboard for others. We bring many people closer to the Lord. That is also part of the stage of conversion. The third stage, being a signboard. The sycamore tree becomes seeking more tree for this man. With the help of this sycamore tree, he is able to find the divine, encounter the divine. And then there comes invitation, fourth stage. Hurry and come down, for I must stay at your house. This morning we talked about this urgency, immediacy, emergency, instance. Immediately has to come down, because he has already wasted his life. It is time for him to encounter the divine and then to experience conversion. So hurry and come down is the invitation. So we all hear the invitations of the Lord. Come and see. Come to me. Abide in me. Learn from me. Come and follow me. So we keep on hearing the invitations of the Lord from time to time. So we need to listen to the invitations, and then we will be able to experience the real conversion. The fifth stage is encounter. That leads us to conversion and then mission. verse 6 says, he was happy to welcome Jesus. That becomes a life-changing encounter for Zacchaeus. So he experiences the Lord, he encounters the Lord. So far he knew about Jesus, now he knows Jesus. He heard about Jesus, now he has the first-hand experience of Jesus. That is the speciality of the encounter. I have my own experience. Not I am hearing about someone, but I have my own experience, the person called Jesus. So without having this divine encounter, then conversion is not possible. And the change is not possible. The transformation is not possible. So Zacchaeus gets encounter with the divine. He encounters the Lord. He experiences the Lord. And that encounter brings about the change, conversion, a repentance, a transformation happens in his life. As the sign of conversion, he says, half of my possessions, Lord, I will give to the poor. If I have defrauded anyone of anything, I will pay back 4 times. That is the power of conversion. Conversion means leaving something behind, leaving your past behind, leaving your sinful self behind, leaving your sinful life behind. I need to leave behind something in order to follow, embrace the newness of life. I'm going to taste the new wine of the Spirit. No more lingering in the old wineskins and using the old wine. I'm drinking the new wine of the Spirit, that is conversion. So half of my possessions, Lord, I will give to the poor. So this man is moving from the second dimension to the third dimension. So far he was enjoying his power, position, possessions. That was the only reality for him. First dimension, second dimension was very strongly present in this man. Now, for the first time in his life, thinks about the poor. That is the power of the conversion. He begins to enter into the third dimension, a relational dimension. He wants to be in relationship with others, thinking about the poor. So far he was thinking only of his power, only of his possessions. And now he is thinking about the poor. Half of my possessions I will give to the poor. Yesterday he was in the rich young man, he was refused to share his riches, so he went home sad. Whereas Zacchaeus, as a result of his conversion and transformation, he becomes a relational person. And then a mission is entrusted to you. Today salvation has come to this house. He too is son of Abraham. The Son of Man has come to seek and to save what has been lost. So he receives a new mission. He becomes the disciple of Christ. He experiences Christ. And he in turn goes and proclaims Christ. Because one who experiences Lord cannot but proclaim to others. That is the mission of the disciple. So this man experiences the Lord. And he receives a new identity as the disciple of Christ. He has been lost and he is found again. So he has moved from the second dimension towards the third dimension. So if you want to experience real conversion, let us make that choice to move from the lower dimensions towards the higher dimensions. Not only thinking about our body and mind, but let us begin to think about our heart and soul. Heart that beats for others. Just like the heart of Christ. Always having the heart for the poor, heart for the abandoned. So that is the moment of conversion. So these 7 stages will help us to get connected with the divine and to experience conversion. From your rule number 18a says, the society urges every member to take part eagerly and actively in the sacrament of penance, at least once a month. We, the priests, need to be exemplars, now and always, to the faithful in approaching the sacrament of reconciliation, the worthy instrument of the church, left us by Jesus. Now and then we hear Vatican, Pope himself goes for confession. And he's standing, suddenly he goes and kneels and starts confessing. Give an example. So when somebody asked you, how do you define yourself? He said, I am a sinner. That's how he started the definition for himself. So the Holy Father is setting an example for all of us. So this sacrament, so your rule of life, your rule also reminds us to be an exemplar. We the priests need to be exemplars now and always to the faithful in approaching this sacrament. Again, 18b rule says, our life is to be enriched by our ability to change and adapt our lifestyle in accordance to the culture, people, and nation in which we live and serve. As much as the inner conversion of our soul, our mental conversion to adapt to situation will help us in the process of true transformation. It speaks about inner conversion as well as mental conversion. Conversion in all the dimensions. Conversion of the entire person leads us towards transformation. Now we shall see some approaches to experience reconciliation. Jesus presents threefold approach for reconciliation. Matthew 18:15-17. Threefold approach for reconciliation. A personal approach, peer group approach, and prayerful community approach. Jesus himself presents three ways, concrete ways in which we can get reconciliation with one another. Personal approach. Go and point out the fault when the two of you are alone. We will appreciate that when you are able to correct each other. Personal approach. That is the first one. Go and point out the fault when the two of you are alone. Then if that doesn't work out, peer group approach. Take one or two others along with you who will be able to deal with you. If that too doesn't work, then he says, tell it to the church, the community, or to the others. So prayerful community approach. Personal approach, peer group approach, and prayerful community approach. And there is a model called a REACH model, model of forgiveness. As we said this morning, forgiveness is a process. It does not happen instantly. It needs time. We need to prepare to offer the real forgiveness. So a person called Worthington, he uses the REACH model, recalling the hurt, empathizing with the offender, altruistic gift of forgiveness, commitment to forgive, and holding on to forgiveness. So we recall the hurt, what has happened to me, who has offended me, the pain that is involved in recalling the hurt. Maybe the moment of humiliation, a moment of betrayal, a moment of disappointment, a moment of disillusionment, discouragement, or whatever experiences we had, we recall that moment and the persons involved. Then empathize with the offender. That's how we begin the process of conversion. I begin to empathize. He is a human person. She is a human person. So I need to empathize with the person, with the offender. And then offer altruistic gift of forgiveness. Forgiveness is an other-centered gift. Altruistic, other-centered gift of forgiveness is extended. I prepare myself to extend that altruistic gift. Then I make a commitment to forgive. Forgiveness is a commitment. Then holding on to forgiveness. Remain with that forgiveness. So this is the model proposed by Worthington. Recalling the hurt, empathizing with the offender, altruistic gift of forgiveness, commitment to forgive, and holding on to forgiveness. It is like a pyramid. Starting with recalling the hurt, empathizing, altruistic gift, commit publicly to forgive, and then hold on to the forgiveness. We go from the lower levels, gradually prepare ourselves to extend forgiveness. And there is another model called RAC model. What about RAC? No? Reservation against cancellation. That model. So rediscover, abandon, and change. rediscover, abandon, change. So rediscover the humanity of the offender. We said when somebody hurts us, we don't see them as human persons. That's why you use the names of the animals to refer to such people. Because I don't see them anymore as human persons. Here, for the process of forgiveness, I rediscover the humanity that he or she is a human person. As we said yesterday, we distinguish between the person and the attitude. So what we are condemning is the attitude of the person, not the person. That's so we'll be able to rediscover the humanity of the offender. And then I abandon the idea of taking revenge. I give up. Even though I have the right to take revenge, because he has offended me, so I have the right to take revenge, but I abandon it willingly. I abandon that right to take revenge. That will help me or lead me towards forgiveness. And then I change the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes towards the offender. From the negative, I move towards positive. Positive thoughts, positive feelings will lead us towards positive attitudes. Change the thought process, which in turn will change the feelings, and then the attitudes, behaviors also will be changing accordingly. So these three are connected together. There's some people who have ANP, automatic negative thoughts. Always they think negatively. and automatic negative thoughts. So the moment you have negative thoughts, then your feelings also will be negative, and then your attitudes will also be negative. So if you are consciously able to change this, each time you have a negative thought, countering it with something positive, then your feelings also will be changing. And as a result, you will have a gradual change in your attitudes. So that's how we change the thoughts, feelings, and attitudes from negative towards positive. Once one bishop received a report of the deacon from the seminary before the ordination. So he was looking at the report. Everything is negative. Prayer life negative. Spiritual life negative. Pastoral life negative. Community life negative. Everything is given in one word. Negative, negative. So that bishop closes the file and he prays, Lord, how can I audit this deacon? Everything seems to be negative. You show me the means. And then he opens. He turns the page. He said, COVID positive. At least he has one positive element. Then he added the deacon. We all want to have positive, but then that is the only place where we don't want to get positive. We don't want to hear that word. With another seminarian, he made a confession after many years. Finally, he realized, attended one of the retreats, he made a confession. After making the confession, he went to his room. He has a small box, where he can take the word of God. He will take at random. Whatever is there, he will follow. So he took that, and it is given Matthew 27:5. He hanged himself. Judas hanged himself. So this fellow was frightened. Goodness, why this is coming now? Then he takes the second one. Luke 10:37. Go and do likewise. It's all the more frightening for him. So he wants to give it one more try. Again he takes. John 13:27. What do you want to do? Do it quickly. So he closes the box quickly and he goes off. So with that we will come to the end of our session. You only start and you are preparing for our reconciliation. So after seeing the various models of conversion, forgiveness and reconciliation, reflect and see which model works best for you. We have seen the 7 stages of Zacchaeus, then the 3-fold models proposed by Jesus, 3 approaches, then the reach model, RAC model. So which model works best for you? Then read and reflect the story of Zacchaeus and his process of conversion. Luke 19:1-10. See what touches your heart. See his journey of moving through the lower dimensions towards the higher dimensions. of our priests had this RAC ticket one day. He was supposed to travel 8 a.m., but he thought 8 p.m. So only in the evening he realized that it is 8 a.m. ticket. So he called the agent and he cancelled the ticket. And then the agent arranged another train for him that was AC ticket. Then he was telling us, thank God, Lord removed all and he gave me AC. But not that money was lost. That is the famous quote of our Holy Father. Let's not forget that God never gets tired of forgiving. So let's never get tired of asking for forgiveness. So today is the day for us, given by the Lord, to experience His forgiving love. It's another beautiful quote of Mark Twain. It says, forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. When you are stepping on a flower, the flower sheds fragrance to your heels that has crushed it. That is the forgiveness. The forgiveness is the fragrance that violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. So each time you offer forgiveness, you are giving a fragrance.